On October 5th, 1971, the Velvet Underground, which featured a lineup of Doug Yule on lead vocals and guitar, Maureen Tucker on drums, Walter Powers on bass, and Willie Alexander on the keyboards, began their tour of Europe when they played at the Palais Dance Hall in Leicester, England. They were scheduled to play 35 dates, which were to take place in the UK, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany in a tour funded by Atlantic Records to promote the release of Loaded, which was finally released in Europe. The tour was a no-frills, shoestring budgeted one, and the venues that the band played in were mostly located in college venues. Atlantic Records was trying to promote the Velvet Underground as a hip act to the younger crowd. October 6th, they played at the Speakeasy, a club noted to be used by many record companies to showcase their bands or find young and up-and-coming talent. 2 days later, they played at the University of Birmingham, and the show on October 9th at the Kingston Polytechnic before heading off to the Netherlands. The Velvet Underground sold-out show at the Royal Concert Hall was cancelled due to the band being held up at the French-Belgium border, and they had to take a small bus on a 14-hour trip because the promoters didn't want to pay extra for the airfare, according to Dutch journalist Laurie Lagenbach. October 11th, the Velvet Underground made an appearance on the Dutch television show Top Pop with Rock and Roll in the Avro studio. Then they traveled to Belgium and played 2 shows on October 12th and the 13th inside the Theater 140 and the Trocadero Theater in Liège. Denis Jacqueline, a French music journalist, wasn't impressed with the band's performance, and disappointed that Lou Reed and Stormy Morrison quit the group and thought the band's new songs were bland. The band went back to England on October 14th and played at the London College of Printing and played 20 more shows in small clubs and college venues up and down England. Since they were double booked on several dates, they had to cancel 2 shows in the Netherlands and 1 in Scotland. During their second leg of their tour of England, the band was interviewed by Harry Daniels for his magazine Friends. The members openly talked about how much they disliked their manager, Steve Sesnick, whom they haven't seen since he sent them off to Holland and Belgium in a tiny bus. They also mentioned that after the tour ends in November, their manager, Steve Sesnick, has managed to get them some studio time to record material for their second album for Atlantic Records in London. Yule talks about how he can't wait to record the new songs that they have been debuting at their shows. Alexander has been playing a few of his own songs because he hasn't been able to learn some of Lou Reed's compositions. The Velvet Underground will fly out to Frankfurt, Germany on November 18th to open for Humble Pie at the Jahrhunderthalle. The third time's the charm for the band, as they would finally perform at the concert hall in Amsterdam on November 19th. The tour would wrap up on November 21st with a show at the Apollo Concert Hall in Groningen, Holland, with Loudon Wainwright III as the opening act. Steve Sesnick would pop up after the tour ended, instead of the band heading into the London studio to lay down some tracks for the second album that they were contractually obligated to record for Atlantic Records. He gave Tucker, Alexander, and Powers tickets for flights home. The only member to stay was Doug Yule, whom Sesnick felt that he could use the studio time instead to record material for a Doug Yule solo album. He manipulated the rest of the band into thinking that they were going to record a new Velvet Underground album after the European tour had ended. Yule wanted Tucker to stay and give the material some genuine Velvet Underground sound, but Sesnick said no. A few days later, Sesnick and Yule go into a London studio to lay down some tracks for an album that was either going to be a Doug Yule solo album or a Velvet Underground release. What is the truth? The mystery deepens. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Cuppy's Music Curios. My name is Cuppy, and I hope to see you soon. Cheerio!